Hello everyone, welcome back. So till now we have covered four modules, and in last three modules we looked into design fundamentals, basically the elements of design, and then design principles and Gestalt principles. So in last two modules, which is taken by Professor Saurav, you have learned how to use fundamental elements of design to create good composition, and I'm sure you have enjoyed those two modules. So now you are ready with the basic foundation. Now from this module, which is the fifth module onward, uh, we will explore the functional aspects or the possibilities of how we can use those fundamentals and our knowledge from design principles and overview of Gestalt's principles to create interesting composition. At the same time, also to we will try to see examples throughout the timeline where these thing has been explored extensively to create very powerful and impactful communication design. So, welcome to this fifth module of our course. In this, we will explore and understand the role of typography in graphic design. The whole idea behind this introductory module on typography is to provide you with a foundational understanding of what typography is, its uses, and historical significance. Typography is so important that we consume this in a daily basis, each moment and every moment, and it is almost everywhere. Whether you look into poster design, publication design, or maybe UI UX design, everywhere, more or less. Some places it is dominating, for example publication design, and some places it has been used as a significant element to just complement the visuals and also accordingly communicate the meaning. So many times 60-70% of the whole composition is just text. So that means understanding typography is really important if you want to excel in graphic design field. At the same time, if you want to improve your skills in terms of presentation, in terms of communicating your ideas with others through text or through visuals and text, whatever. All right. So, and another thing is, and it has been typography has been explored in a very dramatic manner. Many times it is very expressive, many times it is just for the function, and then and it is in the body text where you have to read and then understand. But lot of places, for example you look into comics book where you will find sound symbolic words where the text and type has been changed, their form has been redefined, so to to communicate you the sound which comes, for example bram, fuss, this, whatever sound you create, and most of the time it has been exaggerated through different attributes. So all these things, apart from the typical use, the traditional use where we are using typography just for reading and writing, and it has been used since beginning across book publication and posters and publicity media. So looking at that aspects where the main reason or task of typography is to uh, make you read it in a very efficient way. That means readability and legibility is the main aspect. At the same times, we will also look into the typography where it has been used as a display typeface or expressive typography just to create a very powerful impact whether it is in the form of installation, whether it is in the form of poster or many other media. You will find a lot of use of typography in title sequence and poster title design as well, where it is very core to the theme of the film, right? So we are in this module we are going to look into all these aspects one by one, and we will try to understand uh, how we can play with letters to create similar effect and also communicate our ideas, our intended meaning to our target audience in a very efficient way. So if you look into the objective of this whole module, if you pay attention in this module, and probably you will be able to develop an understanding of the vital role of typography in design, including the formal elements of typography. You will also understand the leading, kerning, right, and special characters, ligature, and other typographical details in a print layout. These are the key terminology which is used in typography field. Then you will be able to develop an understanding of expressive aspects of typography, which is very crucial when you want to communicate, create a very powerful impact. And at the end, you will have understanding of the fundamentals of applied typography across application. So we are going to see a lot of examples where typography has been explored extensively to create meaning and messages and accordingly to communicate with the audience. If you look into the course structure, we will start with introduction to typography, where it will include an overview of typography, where we will look into the definition, history, and its importance in graphic design. And we will also look into overall role of typography in communication. And most of the discussion will explore how typography influences masses perception and enhances readability. And if you will pay attention to this part, you will gain an understanding of the history, terminology, and role of typography in design. This introductory section will be followed with type anatomy and classification, and this section will help in developing a very strong foundation in type anatomy and classification. You will learn the anatomy of letter form, type classification, and the significance of different type styles, enabling them to make informed choices in selecting typefaces. Alright, this part will be followed by type construction, and this section will cover the basics of type design, covering the key attributes involved in type design. So we are not going to dig deep in these aspects of type construction, because type design altogether a very big discipline where you need a certain expertise and understanding, and you also have to know certain skills. Then only you will be able to design a typeface. And of course, this course is this module is not about making you a type designer. The whole module is about making you understand what is typography and how you can play with letter and use those letters in a very effective manner. So those understanding, if you can develop, the objective of the this module is we will be able to achieve it. All right. So type construction, introduction to type construction will be followed by typographic principles, and this section will help you to master basic typographic principles, right? And you will understand key design principles in relation to typography, such as hierarchy, spacing, which include kerning, tracking, and leading, and then also alignment, also how this can function in a grid structure to create a nice composition, and visually appealing layouts. This is similar to the design principle you have gone through in Professor Saurabh module, but taking examples from typographic layout. And then this section will be followed by expressive typography, which will cover discussion on different attributes which can enhance creativity and typographic experimentation as well. After this session, you will gain confidence to experiment with expressive typography and innovate layouts while understanding when to kind of prioritize or when you should give more emphasis on legibility and readability, and when you should just look into the aesthetic part, right? And this will be followed by do's and don'ts section, which will cover discussion on fundamental things regarding what is good and what is bad for any typographic exploration. So in this section we are going to discuss a lot of thing which you can take it for granted. For example, if you will follow, most probably you will be able to design a very good composition. So it's a kind of Ramban. So you should be able to remember those do's and don'ts, okay? Because these thing has been developed with a lot of research and experimentation, and then accordingly scholars has came up with this set of do's and don'ts in typography. All right, and then we will also in the final section we will look into environmental typography, and we will look into a lot of examples and case studies, and see how, apart from the traditional typical book setup, I mean book design, how typography has been explored in the space and outside the book. Okay, so it is not like typography is just in book and the newspaper and other places. So before we take a deep dive into world of typography, let me ask you few questions and try to motivate you to investigate your surrounding to understand this in a better way. So should we start? All right. So the first thing is font save your time. Do you agree with this? Right? Where it can save? Book design, signage design. Just imagine if font used in signage design or the way signage has been designed is making it difficult to read, then what will happen? You will take more time, or if the right font with right legibility and readability is not used in the textbook, you will find it problematic to read, and then ultimately it will consume more time. Do you agree? Or just imagine you have a train at a certain time and you are getting late and you are running on the platform and then trying to find out on which platform train is. So if the information which has been provided on the platform, if you are unable to read it, or the text which has been used, it is not readable from a long distance, just imagine what will happen. You will miss your train, right? So that means the font has been designed with certain purpose and certain reasons, and depending on the context and then use and then requirement, a designer has to make a choice and decision which font will go in which context and how it will work, right? Just take this example. This is a very interesting example from the book titled Why Fonts Matters by Sarah Hindman, and she is a very amazing typographer doing a lot of experimentation in the field of typography. There is a very interesting TED talk also available in YouTube. You can go and watch. You can type Sarah Hindman TED Talks and you will get that. It's a very interesting video explaining the expressive quality of fonts and typefaces. So coming back to this example, now can you find out how many luxury products are there in this list? So if you notice and look at the product, there are different kind of product, but the font which has been used is same. It has been just increased in sizes, and you have to literally count. Okay, so first one is luxury bubbles, then the second one is this one, luxury was. So likewise you have to count everything, and then ultimately you will come up with the list of the luxury product in this whole page, right? So imagine this. Now the form is same, right? And or maybe you can say the silhouette or shape is same, but the font has been changed. Now there are different font has been used to depict different kind of products and then ideas, right? For example, if you look at here, it is cheap wash, this is super wash, which is very exclusive, this is fast clean, the italics letters are used, and then in luxury you have a same font which has been used. Can you notice my cursor? So this so now I can easily count 1 2 3 4 5 6. So I have to look at the visual attributes of the letter, and then I will be able to count there are this many luxury products available in this whole arrangement, right? So what do you think? Now the font, because of the font you can save time, of course, right? If you look at this example where everything is alike in terms of the lettering, but here it is, there is a lot of differentiation. So you can also try this in the shopping mall or supermarket, where you will find that if there are different fonts, everyone is speaking or every font is loud in their own way, and then try to catch the eye of a person who is visiting and looking at those product. So we will move ahead now. Have you ever felt like font helps you to choose and make decisions? So font influence how we perceive information, guiding us to make choices by conveying mood, tone, and trustworthiness. This is quite common in packaging design. For example, if you are used to one package, one kind of product, every time when you are going to shopping complex or shopping mall, this the branding and then the letters which has been used in a specific product catches your eyes, right? Brands often use a specific font to appeal to target customers, and if that's why you will see different brands have different kind of lettering or the different kind of font they have used. So, for instance, a playful, bubbly font might be used on a children products like cereal box to appeal kids, making product feel very fun and exciting. And on the other hand, a sleek, minimal sans serif font might be used on luxury chocolate packaging to convey sophistication and quality, and ultimately making uh, audience in adult group uh, to pick those products, right? So this is one example. Just imagine, most probably you may have also noticed a kid going to supermarket and looking for a product. So have you ever observed what is their choice pattern, and how they pick products? In this case, for example, if you look at the screen, there are three uh, products from Lee's. One says twist, another says crisps, and then waves. And in all three styles, different kind of lettering has been done. Okay, or if it is a font, different kind of font has been used. Most probably, this is customized lettering which has been done. We will discuss this differentiation between font, typography, lettering, and calligraphy in later stage. So why designer has used different kind of treatment to the letters in these three quality, right? There must be some reason, and So reason is that the because of the taste, the kind of experience you want to communicate, the kind of the emotions has to be communicated from these three different product is different, and that's why these fonts are also designed differently so that they can exaggerate the overall experience and meaning. If you look into health and wellness products, you will see health brands frequently use soft, rounded, or thin serif font to convey calmness and then cleanliness and purity. This this kind of typography it can also help you to suggest healthiness, natural, and customer might like those kind of typography if they are wellness oriented, and they are looking for a products where they are confident that it will help them to nurture their uh, skin, their body, and then they will feel refreshed, right? So this kind of treatment you will find everywhere. This is another example just to make you understand why different kind of font choices should happen depending on different kind of product. So for example, if you look at the fast food restaurant and fine dining experience, both are very different in terms of color, in terms of arrangement, and then most significantly in terms of font use. Okay, so here the font is sans serif, very loud, and then sometimes it is very decorative. Here the font is serif, and then it is very traditional. I mean, a very sophisticated classic font has been used just to, and then there is very less variation, right? Only the variation is in terms of size and then weight. Here there is a lot of so basically in the first it is very loud and then speaking upfront, saying the quality of food, the kind of experience you are going to have when you are eating burger. Here it is saying, okay, come, we have a very pleasant environment, a very sophisticated environment, and then you are going to get a very fine dine, and you are going to get a lot of the high quality products, food products, and then maybe specialty from the restaurant, right? Now another thing is, do you think font keeps you safe? Fonts play a surprisingly important role in safety by ensuring information is clear, readable, and accessible. And this is crucial in situation where quick comprehension is essential to avoid harm or make important decisions. For example, imagine if you are driving and you see a road sign indicating an exit or speed limit or danger ahead. Uh, if the font is not readable, what will happen? So these signs use fonts specifically designed for legibility at high speed and in varying light condition as well. One of the most widely recognized font, if you see in US road signs, is Highway Gothic, and its newer version is also there, which is Clearview. So, and these fonts are crafted with wide spacing, simple letter form, and high contrast so that they can be read at a glance. Similarly, what about the information on medicine bottle and strips, right? So, if the font is not readable, because most of the time you will find it's very small size, and it is difficult to read. So, not every font will be legible in that small point size. That means there are a specific font which can do that job in a very small point size if they're being used. So that means few attributes such as readability at a distance, clarity in low light, and clarity in letter form, structure, all these plays a very significant role in this safety aspect. For example, if you look at readability at a distance, road sign fonts are designed to be legible from a distance, and thus helping diverse or process information, which can happen very quickly even if they are moving at a very high speeds, right? Similarly, if you look at clarity in low light, certain fonts are designed to reduce glare or maintain visibility in low light condition as well, and thus improving nighttime driving very safe. Uh, Another thing is prevention of confusion. So there are many fonts. You will find that there is a very it is very difficult to find out which letter has been used, right? So if you look at these two examples, the first example is Franklin Gothic book, and here if you look at these two, zero and then letter O, uh, not if you are a first time user, you will not find much difference, or first time you're looking at the font, you will hardly notice that this is zero and this is O, right? So they are, if you look at the second example where it has been written illiterate, where letter I and small capital I and small l, hardly there is any difference. So these kind of the characters, though you when you once you look at the word you will read it, but at the same time many times it, especially in road signs and other places, it might create confusion. So similarly letter uh, L and 1, so basically it mislead, okay, and then it mislead, and then accordingly there might be accident or something. So if you are using a font where these characters, each characters can be identified separately, for example here 0 and letter O, if there is a significant difference, it might prevent accidents and it might reduce the confusion. Now another thing is font show you the way. What do you think about this? So what about wayfinding in public spaces such as airports, railway station, shopping malls, etc., right? Or you take an example of map and public transportations. For example, subway and train stations, if you look at use of font, they use very specific font designed for clarity and quick comprehension. And there are very interesting example. If you look at New York City subway, or they have used Helvetica, right? And if you look at London Underground, which is quite popular, that map uses a custom font called Johnston. So why that everyone is using a different kind of font? So it is related with the readability and legibility, of course, but it also kind of become a part of culture, become a part of the place, and though the functionality is the main focus. Why? Because these fonts help people navigate busy, often crowded spaces very efficiently, and because of that, making it easy to spot station name, directions, and important information at a glance. Right? Similar thing, font. I mean, if you look at this concept, font shows you the way. You look at digital interface and apps, right, which is quite popular in current time. So apps and website also uses fonts to show you the way by structuring information in hierarchical manner. For example, heading are typically in larger or bolder fonts to guide your eye to the main sections, while the body text is in smaller, lighter font to encourage reading. If you look at mobile navigation, designers often use clean sans serif fonts to create buttons and labels that helps user intuitively find features and make choices. So everything is done with certain purpose. Uh, what about fonts tell you where you are? Can you give some example? Let me give you one. shop signs, right? If you are in Delhi, suppose, or you are in some southern part of the country, India, so shop signs will be very different, right? And then when you visit that place, you get that vibes, right? I'm in Delhi, or for example, if you are in China or Japan, the script which has been used on street and then in your surrounding can tell you that okay, this is where you are, right? So this is how powerful a font is. So that means type is everywhere and we consume it in every moment. Uh, so to understand what can work and what cannot work, one has to have a proper understanding of font characteristic features and their overall constructions. And depending on the letter's style and attributes, uh, it communicates different kinds of emotions and feeling. So if you look at this is one calligraphy done by me, where if you look at the letters attributes and then style or maybe characteristic features, it goes towards Arabic style, right? So though it is written in Latin, uh, e shukun, but visually when you look at it, you feel like this is something which is related with Arabic. So that means you can change the attributes and then bring those essence and then meaning which you want to create and then communicate. This is another shop sign in Pune where I was working. So when I was working in Pune, every day I used to cross this shop while going to my office. When I look at this shop sign, I feel like why it has been done in that way, because it is a gift shop. So and this font, more or less, it is because it is melting. It is looking like some horror or something, right? What do you feel? So to me, this is not an appropriate font which has been used to write the shop sign. But at the same time, if you, for example, if you have this sensitivity towards this letter and typeface, if someone has, this act as a very interesting tool to catch the eyes, because this conflict with the message which is coming. So it says new gift lovers. It is about caring, it is about love, but at the same time, the attributes is very different, right? And then it catches your eyes. So, but whether it has been done intentionally or unintentionally, we don't know. But if you look at the attributes, this is not going well with the meaning and then the services or the product which is offered by the shop. Let us look into this example. This is another food restaurant in Pune area where if you look at the letters, certain treatment has been done so that it will communicate certain culture, certain kind of food, and here it is very evident that this is about uh, uh, something related with uh, the Arabic food products uh, or Nawawi foods and other things, right? Or if you look at this, so from all these examples, it is clear that letters have the power to evoke emotions and communicate meanings when it is represented in a certain typographical style, right? But in typography, everything is done using letters as the building blocks. So then innovation should happen at the letter level itself. Now, there is a term called type. What do you think? What is type? So, if you look at the definition, types are letters and other characters which generally you use them to arrange them on a page for printing process. So individual characters like letter A, B, C, all these are individual types, right? And many times we get it this confused with font and typeface. I will give you this example. This is a set of ceramic pots created by Lico, and this has been taken from the book titled Type, Form and Function. So this is a very classic example to make you understand uh, what is this individual type, or what are these characters, or to just understand about the font. So if you look at this image, uh, uh, though these pots are very different and it has different qualities, but at the same times you feel like these are part of one group, right? Why? Because there are certain ways to look at it. One is in terms of opening. More or less opening has the same attributes, quality. The form, the rounded form, oval form is also connecting them together. And then maybe color repetition, which is more or less in a similar line. So through color also it is getting. So there are multiple attributes through which they are connected, but at the same times each pot is very different. So these things, similar thing happens in font design as well. So if you look at a font, and if you look at individual characters, for example, Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, if you look at Devanagari, or if you look at Latin, so A, B, C, D. So these individual characters has a very different kind of form and then shape, right? But at the same time, within a font, for example, if you have taken Helvetica, or if you have taken Adobe Garamond, so if you look at all these characters, they carry a similar kind of some common attributes, and because of that they belongs to one group. And so that is a very important thing a type designer has to understand. Otherwise each letter will look very different, and then it will be very difficult to comprehend at the same time. So another thing is, what is typography? Can you define this for me? Right? So typography refers to the rules and conventions that govern the assembling or composition of type into an aesthetically appealing and legible pages. So basically arranging letters in page to communicate something which is at the same time, which is also very appealing and pleasing to your eyes. Or maybe if you there are other definitions given by other scholars, so you can say typography is what language looks like, or a language is the trace of thought, right? So basically you are putting a trace to the language, and that trace is typography, right? So there are multiple other definitions as well. And, many scholars have said typography is the art of communicating clearly and easily with type, right? And there is a very famous type designer and calligrapher, Hermann Jaff, and he says typography is two-dimensional architecture based on experience and imagination, and these things are guided by the rules and readability. So it is not just the visual appeal, but there are certain rules, okay, through which these letters are guided or designed. And the arrangement of design elements within a given structure should allow the readers to easily focus on the message without slowing down the speed of reading. So it also says it should be effective, right? It should be pleasing, but at the same time it should be arranged in such a way that readers can easily go through it and then scan through it in a very efficient manner. Now there are three terms: typography, lettering and calligraphy. What do you think? What is the difference between these three? Do you feel like these three are same? So these three are not same. Let me tell you. So typography is writing with prefabricated letters, and so that means there is already font which has been designed by someone. There is already typeface which has been designed by someone else, and then as a designer you are using those prefabricated letters to design something, to compose something, so that you can communicate the overall meaning. At the same time, lettering consists of building letters. So second one, so here you craft each letter depending on requirement. So if you have to write just one word, you just craft that word and then job is done. You don't have to design. You have to take the letters where you have all the characters designed and available. However, the typography, the type design is the initial stage of type design is lettering. So first you do the lettering, craft your letter, then only you translate this into a type or a font. Right? And then when you look at the calligraphy is basically writing in a single pass. But it is not always single pass. Many times you just lift your hand and then again and take another strokes and write. Okay, but in common, generally how we write without lifting our hand, it falls under calligraphy. Clear? So I hope you will be able to understand this. Now there is another term called typeface versus font. So there is a typeface and there is a font. Do you think there is a difference between these two? Yes, there is difference. So the typeface is basically family and font is so typeface is font family and font is individual font within that family. For example, if you take Times New Roman, so Times New Roman, bold, italics, light, condense, all these are individual font, and then all together comes and then become a typeface family. Let me explain this to you with another example. And so, for example, in your family, you have different members. Just imagine if you are staying in a combined family. So you have father, mother, you have your grandparents, you have your sister, your younger brother, your elder sister, and many other people from the family. So each member of the family becomes font, because for example your father is fat, your mother is tall, your brother is short, your sister is thin. So and the same convention, right, same terminology we use for the font as well, like fat font, tall, elongated, thin, thick. So each member of the family becomes font, and then once these member comes together, they create a font family, that means typeface. And that is relevant because if someone when your brother is going out, someone see him somewhere, and then he will immediately recognize that, okay, you are son of this person, or you are sister of this guy, right? Why they do I mean, why people recognize that? The reason is because we carry a similarity or certain attributes, maybe facial structure, or maybe the way we walk, or the body structures, somewhere it matches with our family member, right? So similarly within the typeface, whatever font is there, right, some characters matches. And this is one example I'm giving you from using Bodoni font. So this is Bodoni standard, then there is a Bodoni standard poster, and Bodoni standard poster italics. Now if you look at these three, so these three are different font, and then if you combine this falls under one typeface or one font family. So, and then at the same time, if you look into the differences, you will see there is a variations as well. Letter J is changing gradually, letter G is changing, so there is double story, this is single story. We will discuss this later. Then if you look at letter A, it's also changing. You look at letter Z, the form is changing. So though it is changing, but at the same time you will find that there is some common element which has been carried forward from Bodoni standard book to Bodoni standard poster to Bodoni standard poster italics, and because of that you feel like they belongs to one group, or they belongs to one family, right? So I hope it is clear to you what is typeface, what is font, and what is font family, whether typography, lettering, and calligraphy is different or same, and also in terms of understanding the role of typography, what kind of role it plays in our day-to-day life. So we will stop here, and I hope you will have better understanding of typography now. And then if you go outside, you will keep your eyes open and look into. So basically, when now onward, if you consume typefaces, consume means when you are interacting with it, I would suggest you think about it, why it has been done in a certain way. So yeah, I will request you to look for typography in your surrounding and try to understand its role and importance in a specific context. We will connect through the next video lecture where I will be talking about the uses of font across the history. So we are doing historical overview of typography. Until then, goodbye and see you soon.